me. Tyler Lockett, let's go. You deserve it all. Love you, bro. All right, let's get to another veteran quarterback who seems at least a little frustrated with his organization, Aaron Rodgers. Remember when Rodgers called his future with Green Bay a beautiful mystery? Well, it seems like that's still the case. The Packers have opted not to restructure or extend Rodgers' contract so far, and team president Mark Murphy said this about why.
No, I can't really get into specific players. Yeah, we've been able to create room with others.
Don't you guys want to ensure, though, that he's your quarterback beyond just this season?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into the specifics again. Good try, though, Rob.
Okay.
That's Rob Domofsky, by the way, our NFL Nation Packers reporter. The old good try,
good
Rob.
Try, Rob.
I love it. We love Rob.
Shot, bub.
Shout out. Okay, Graz, these comments, or really lack thereof, is there something in this that's a big deal?
There is. I mean, first of all, Mark Murphy can talk about specific players if he wants. There's nothing prohibiting that. But look, the fact that they restructured other deals and not this one allows them still, as was the case a year ago when they drafted Jordan Love, to move on from Aaron Rodgers after this year. Contractually, they're able to get out of the contract after this year if they wanted to trade him or release him, unlikely, obviously. They would be able to do so with a relatively minimal dead money hit. So they could have restructured and made it more difficult to do that, and that would have been a clear signal, as Domofsky was trying to indicate in his question, that they intend to keep Aaron Rodgers beyond this year. But they're not sending that signal. They drafted Jordan Love in the first round last year, and they will wait and see how Rodgers does this year and how Jordan Love does in terms of his development, and it may be that after this season they make the decision to move on.
Yeah, your actions are louder than your words. I got 4 kids. I tell them that all the time. We will know 30 days from today exactly what the Green Bay Packers' thoughts are when it comes to Aaron Rodgers long term. That's the first night of the draft, okay? Because what you've done recently when it comes to your draft picks does not tell me that you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be there long term. Does not tell me that you think Rodgers is going to be a part of our organization for more than 1 year. You know why? Not a single wide receiver. Okay? And we know last year you chose the future. So I'm going to know 30 days from today exactly what the Green Bay Packers front office views Aaron Rodgers' future in Green Bay. Because if they don't take a wide receiver, or if they don't move up and make a selection of an impactful front seven player, you're telling me everything I need to know. You could say it as much as you want. You're telling me, we're going to start building for the future, and this isn't our all-in year. Now, if you do that, if you go up and get a Rashad Bateman, or if you go up and get a impactful front seven guy, then I think a little bit differently when it comes to Rodgers.
And people like Mark Murphy are the reasons that Destiny's Child Say My Name was the #1 hit. Because Mark Murphy just refused to say it.
Don't sing anymore.
He refuses to say, guess what? I want Aaron Rodgers, the dude that was just the league MVP that has led us to back-to-back NFC championships. That's my guy. I want him here for years to come. And then what's even crazier is sometimes people just lie about it. They just lie about it because he is our quarterback today. They just say things like Jimmy Garoppolo is our quarterback or that Jared Goff is still a Los Angeles Ram. They say these things, and maybe next week they're not. And it's okay, but Mark Murphy won't even do that. So that tells me is that Aaron Rodgers is not necessarily 100% a part of the plan going forward. What the drafting of Jordan Love says is Aaron Rodgers is not necessarily 100% a part of the plan going forward. And the Dans are correct. Your actions are louder than your words. And the other Dan is correct when he says Jordan Love's progression and Aaron Rodgers' play matters this year. If we watch Jordan Love in practice and we see, you know what, he could be the guy. Aaron doesn't play at an MVP level. Maybe we make the change. I'll say this. One of my best friends was the DB coach in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers was the scout team quarterback. And all he would ever talk about was how good Aaron Rodgers was, how great he could throw the ball. And because they saw that, they knew it was okay to let Brett Favre go. What Jordan Love does matters.
Important to note because they didn't see a lot out of Jordan Love last year. Rough year, no offseason program, no preseason games in which he would have played if there had been some. And when I was told from people in that building, Aaron Rodgers took literally every first-team practice snap all year long. So that left Jordan Love splitting second and third team snaps with Tim Boyle, who was the backup quarterback. So this is an important year for Jordan Love to show more as he's elevated to that backup role. Ideally, for his sake, there are preseason games and he can show something in and they can have a little better read on him to help them make this decision, as they appear to want to go year to year at this point with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Graz, point of clarification, you are not the other Dan, you are Dan Graziano. And also, this might put it over the edge, guys. Aaron Rodgers will be hosting Jeopardy for 2 weeks, starting Monday, April 5th, continuing through the week of Monday, April 12th. So maybe that's just what this front office needs to see to go ahead and get that extension done. Hey, for the 42nd straight year, the NFL Draft is on ESPN. It's also on the NFL Network, and the Game Day crew will be on ABC again this year, covering it from the college perspective. It all comes to you Thursday, April 29th through May 1st, with all 3 days on ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Every week on NFL Live, as part of Women's History Month, we've recognized some of the women making their impact around the league. And today we bring that close to home. We want to introduce the viewers to all the amazing women who have a hand in making this show on a daily basis, both in front of and behind the camera. I am honored to call them teammates.
Great matchup nightmare.
Matchup nightmare.
I see Mike Evans meets Darren Waller.
Jackpot, baby!
He is the total package.
This is LeBron playing football.
There may not be a more exciting player in the NFL draft. Kyle Pitts, front and center at Florida's Pro Day this afternoon, and Jeremy Fowler in Gainesville for the workouts. Jeremy, did Pitts hurt his stock at all with his performance today?
Laura, greetings from a place you're very familiar with, Gainesville, Florida, where tight end Kyle Pitts was doing some freaky things on this field. A lot of scouts and execs I spoke to before today considered Pitts maybe the best overall player in this entire draft. He did not disappoint. He told me he got his weight up closer to 250 pounds and still wanted to show he could run in the 4.4s and the 40, catch passes all over the place, so that's a job well done. And Atlanta Falcons coach Arthur Smith, whose team picks 4th overall, was chatting up Pitts for a few minutes after the event. That's a good sign. Cincinnati Bengals head coach Zach Taylor, who picks 5th. Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores, who picks 6th. They were both here to see Pitts as well. Now on to some other players. Quarterback Kyle Trask told me that he's hearing some of the critics say out there that he's immobile, that he can't throw on the run. So he designed his pro day throwing session today around moving to the left, right, up, down, and making throws with movement. He believes he did a great job in that regard, showed some things. He's widely considered probably a day 2 pick right now by a lot of people I talked to, maybe 2nd round. I'm hearing some buzz here that the New Orleans Saints like his game a great deal, so maybe that will lead to something. And lastly, the freakiest thing I saw today was wide receiver Kadarius Toney over here, broad jumping 10 feet 4 inches. That is not a great measurement, but the thing is, he decided to go way up in the air and out. You're supposed to go straight out, but he got so high, still went 10 feet. It was impressive and worthy of his first round billing. Back to you, Laura.
I love it, Jeremy. Let's get some quick reads on some of the future NFL players working out today at Florida and LSU. I want to continue with Kadarius Toney. He's a do-it-all player, right? He's electric with the ball in his hands. You see it next to me on this screen. He also takes blocking personally, which means he's even more of a weapon. And even with the talent of Pitts on that Florida offense, Toney was the player they knew he would score. They can't even put enough of a value on that, being able to score 6 at all times. And that's what Kadarius Toney did for this Florida team. Dan, let's stay in Florida. What did you make of quarterback Kyle Trask?
Yeah, Kyle Trask is good. He's good athlete. He's good in the pocket. He's good with his arm strength, and he's good with his accuracy. The question for teams are going to be, or is, can you get him to be great at something? Can you get one of those traits to elevate and develop and go be great at something? If not, he's where he belongs as a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick in a developmental quarterback position.
LSU showcased a couple wide receivers at their pro day today. Matt Miller, what do you think of Chase and Marshall?
Oh, these are first rounders all the way, guys. And let's start with Jamar Chase, who, let's not forget, was the Biletnikoff Award winner as a sophomore at 19 years old as Joe Burrow's go-to target while surrounded by first-rounder Justin Jefferson, who was pretty good in the NFL last year for the Minnesota Vikings, and Terrace Marshall, who we're going to talk about in just a moment. Jamar Chase is the unquestioned #1 receiver in this class. We don't need to overthink it. And oh yeah, there's Terrace Marshall, who today also ran a mere 4.38 at 6'3", 210 pounds. LSU is now wide receiver, you guys. Marshall is a perfect fit. Late round 1, you think about the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills maybe, the Green Bay Packers if they finally draft a receiver in the first round. A lot of teams late round 1 who